Week 10 looks predominantly at chapter 12. Chapter 12 is looking at Europe in the Middle Ages, which is sometimes called the Dark Ages, primarily looking at the period from the fall of Rome, 476 AD, roughly, to right around the year 1000. And in this particular chapter, you'll come across a lot of really interesting things, such as the creation of castles, why castles were created. Also looking at the how Europe responded without the Romans being there, so to speak, at least until the popes, in a sense, become the emperors of Rome. A lot of information in terms of religion, especially Christianity, and you also get the most important of all the Middle Ages kings during this time period, and that, of course, is Charles the Great, or Charlemagne, or Charlemagne. To say the least, this is another chapter that kind of gets us ready for the exploration period that's getting ready to start happening. At the very end, you're ready for the Crusades and things of that nature. Some of the competencies, of course, again, that will be covered. Competency number one: distinguished characteristics of the world's major civilizations, their geographical, temporal settings. We also be looking at number 4, discuss the historical dimensions and world affairs. For example, I mentioned Charlemagne. A lot of people don't realize, but Charlemagne is really the father of both France and Germany, along with numerous other smaller European countries. It's rather fascinating if you look at a map of Charlemagne's empire when he dies to France today. And you'll see that Charlemagne's empire was just massive. The connection between France and the Frank/Germanic kings and their connection to the Pope, which really sets the stage for the Catholic Church becoming the most dominant, the most powerful, and the wealthiest organization in the world, wealthier than kingdoms. A lot of times that's kind of hard for us to understand or to think about, but give a little bit of foreshadowing. When we get to exploration, who is paying for most of these trips that these European fellows are taking? And the answer is, there are joint stock companies, there are kings, but over and over and over, you see it's church money. Why? Because they had the money, they had the power, they had the influence. A really good chapter. A lot of people think that the Middle Ages in Europe is boring, but really and truly, it's utterly fascinating and greatly still plays a role in terms of European and American, and in some regards, Latin American culture still to this day. So good luck completing this particular chapter. If you have any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to ask.